Welcome back, our dear viewers. We continue our interview with Dr. Hoda, the former member of parliament, about the parliamentary elections which are taking place today. Dr. Hoda, how do you see the participation today, the expectations of the turnout today? And we knew now that the ministerial meeting announced a half-day for the governmental officers or the employees in order to encourage them to go and vote. Yeah. But unfortunately, some people, they use this and they go home to have a half-day break.
Well, so I tell you something. If we have the true punishment applied,
yes,
everybody will respect the decision of the government. Because if you say, I'm going to give a penalty of 500 Egyptian pounds for the one and apply, why you don't apply it? How many women and men didn't do their job? Because you are reluctant to apply the law.
Yes.
This is the error. Even the streets, if they have somebody to give them directions, they will get straight ahead. And by law, everybody standing, no excuses. They behave well in Saudi and Dubai. Why? Because the law there is very, very respected. So when you give an announcement by punishment and you make it very clear, you have to apply it to make an example. So everybody will take care, okay, they apply it. Yeah. So this is the issue. They should be respecting their statements. We do so and so because if you don't go to the vote. Then these people who took the half-day vacation and she's going to make melokhia or something like that.
It's more important to eat than feed the kids.
No, I got you, but sometimes if you don't pick your right man for the parliament, you may not find something to eat. Maybe you bring somebody who give you a suffering period. So this is a very, very important period of our life.
And Dr. Hoda, it's not, I believe, the matter also that the people are not having enough time, because I believe 2 days from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. is quite a long period if I'm eager to go and vote.
Yes, so even if I have work, I would finish my work and I would still have time to go and cast.
They are spoiling people a little bit. But
it's okay to encourage people that people should use that and be active and be positive.
I tell you, this is built in you. If you are raised with an innate responsibility character, so this is inside you. You feel obliged. You have to.
Dr. Hoda, that wasn't the situation in the previous elections. I mean, I think that we lost that vibe. We lost that enthusiasm because we've been through a lot and people now are frustrated and disappointed. But if you take a look back at the previous parliamentary elections and the presidential elections, people stood in long queues. People had this
because they know what they're going to choose. The president is well-known character.
It's different.
It's a different story. It's not the story. No.
And even in the parliamentary elections. No, it was during
I told you the issue is also evident that a lot of people, they don't know their candidates. They don't know who's he and who's she. This is a big drop. This is a big drop and dramatic also. So maybe at that time, either they may use it in Cairo governorate, of course. They make use of this because they run in the streets right now and they're beating people in the clubs and everywhere. So why they didn't make their job in Giza? This is the job.
Do you think that due to the fact that some candidates belong to the former regime of President Hosni Mubarak, this caused some state of frustration for many people? They said that there's nothing that's going to happen.
Let me tell you something at this point, very important you raised it. A lot of people were in the regime or in the, say, National Democratic Party.
Yes.
They don't also be painted with dishonesty or they are thieves. Or no, they shouldn't, because you have to evaluate everyone by himself. Every person in this party were highly selected from their jobs.
Yes,
they were highly selected. So a lot of people, they were taken by mistakes of the top.
Yeah.
And this is the issue. So we are deleting somebody and we're bringing their
and the people are being judgmental, and this reflects lack of political awareness because they judge someone just because he was during
this time.
During
But to tell you the truth,
regarding of his qualities or capabilities.
Yes, this is the issue, and this is also a pitfall. Why sometimes the press or the media give shades to everybody, and belongs to what candidate she is supporting, according also for, I don't know, materialistic interest or whatever. But I won't say that, because there are a lot of honest people in the press and the media field. But to be honest, that not everybody in this previous parliaments were incriminated or responsible for any big drop in the government or in the political or in the economical status of Egypt. We are suffering now from the economical, of course, and also the retardation of education. And this is the issue we are suffering. Actually, we will gonna suffer for a few years, even if we don't have the drive to go and conquer these drops in our system. We're gonna suffer more. So education is very important, awareness very important, free and honest press and media is very important, and get rid of these previous or previous statements we're putting in our mind, and we settle ourselves according to this. But to tell you the truth, there are a lot of candidates who were deprived from getting into the parliament because the fear that say, okay, these are from the National Party, and they were so and so. But these people, they were doing a great job at their times. So we have to eliminate our fears. We have to look honestly and make it crystal clear what we are talking about, what we are choosing, what we are making, on what grounds we make decisions.
And we've been through a lot. I mean, we should learn from our experiences.
Yes, of course, nobody claims that he is the God descendant, nor I will give you so and so by God will. Of course, by God will, but it's not the thing. We have to make it on the ground with even God said so. يعني ما قالش عقلها وتوكل. يعني make your mind decision and do your job. So this is the thing that we have to make, you know, an opinion based on very, very illustrated and studied grounds, not just by driving ourselves into pools. No, God only knows who is going to be
or
there.
Listening to other opinions. We
Yes,
shouldn't
of course, it shouldn't be, but we have to make our... But also another point, some people, they said, okay, whom are we going to pick? Please let me know. Is he a good man? Is he an honest man? A question is very honest and very simple and very direct, because the people need to feel rest and feel secured. They didn't do anything wrong by choosing the wrong guy. So this is the story. Other item is that we have the history of the candidates. Why don't we review it before we are talking about good and bad?
It's because of the problem of generalization. And putting people in fixed stereotyping, exactly. So, and I believe that since we are looking for change, we need to change ourselves first. We need to change our mentalities.
Well, I would thank you for this, of course. I would thank you for this. We need to change ourselves, of course. The stereotyping is
we can't ask for change. It's not about changing governments or regimes or parliament members.
If I change the governor himself.
See how many governments we've changed?
Have a second row employee down. They're making a hell of wrong stuff, and they putting everything on the head of the governor. So what we are going to do, we decapitate the governor and leave the rotten row down doing what they do, and they feel kings and queens.
Why is always the manager or the top is always the scapegoat?
I know this is the issue, that he is responsible of having these people still working behind him. And this is the wrong decision. But to give him an excuse, maybe he's coming in a new area, a new office, they don't know anything. Maybe they can hide papers, they maybe do him a hard time, of course.
So here, Dr. Hoda, is a very important thing. that we are facing in Egypt, and I believe it's the main, the core issue of our problem up to this moment, which is the corruption, which is deep-rooted in many places in Egypt.
Yes.
And the people who are corrupt, who are fighting anyone who is trying to do something positive in order to keep their corruption going on.
Yes.
So how can we eradicate this in order to start moving ahead?
Well, by reviewing their acts, and what they did. If you see Giza government, it's an example of negligence. You can't see except this building, which is all in brown brick. And I have some visitors from
Alexandria,
and Alexandria also, the worst. Then the government is responsible for this, and the directors of the urban areas also, and the head of the cities, and they give the permission to ruin the villas, the old villas, the old style,
and
they break it down.
High buildings.
Yes, they break it down and they enjoy that, and making a high rising of 12 buildings. Did you calculate how much of water supply and sewage disposal you should arrange for a building which is 12 floor instead of a villa of 4 or 2 floors?
Of course not.
I think I expect in Giza an explosion in the network of the winter. Yes, I expect that.
And we are facing this problem every year, Dr. Hoda, because
and it didn't work because nobody asked the government what you did, and the housing Minister of Housing, and I mean, it's a big network. I don't know. We don't need to attack except when we study the situation, but it's evident there is a pitfalls and it should be corrected.
Okay, we have with us now over the phone Dr. Yusuf Mazhar, political analyst. Good day to you, Dr. Yusuf.
Yes, good morning, how are you?
Good morning, sir. Now, how do you analyze the situation now regarding the parliamentary elections? How do you see the turnout, which reached around 20% so far?
Yes, well, I think this is a very interesting experience, and there are many factors that play a role in this. Of course, most of the analysts now are talking all over the place on the media, press, etc. And I think they are all formulating opinions or impressions. I think the correct thing is that when everything is over, let's say the organization in charge of this whole voting process, which is the law, they will be able to analyze on the basis of the areas, the districts, the people, etc., to bring out a report which will be more correct than what we are seeing at the moment, which includes things like
okay, Dr. Yusuf Mazhar, thank you very much for your input in today's edition of The Breakfast Show. Thank you very much, sir. Back again to you, Dr. Hoda, because we're running out of time.
Yes.
We were just discussing also women in parliament and the frustration facing us women to this regard. We have seen President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi highlighting the role of women, and in his speech prior to the elections, he underlined the role of women, and he called on everyone to support women in parliament.
Yes.
And there is an opinion that said if women can't make it that much to the parliament, maybe they should be appointed in decision-making posts and appointed as perhaps that would, like make a balance in the equation.
Well, I think I go for that, of course, because we need intellectual women who had experience and have a vision, and also economical wise women, because there is a lot of candidates who are specialized in economy, and they are very much smart and they give solutions. So we have an example, an assistant of a governor in Alexandria. She is a successful one. Maybe others in other governorate, I don't know them by names, but I can see that the ladies who were appointed, they make a success. And also in the Minister of Electricity, we have a deputy, and some people, they are great figures actually. Why don't we make them views? Why don't we share them the opinion? And also give them a chance to be appointed, as you mentioned now. And this is another solution. Maybe also the number of women may be increased by appointing in the council, of course,
Yes.
because we have to get a balanced situation. Unfortunately, Morocco have 30% of women, 30%. Khartoum also 35%. Mauritania 40%
We are still having a lot to be done, Dr.
I need to say, well, what are we doing to ourselves? Why? Mauritania gave 40%
we need political
women.
maturity, Dr. Hoda. I believe that the process is going to take quite
Time?
a while.
No.
Yes, and we're still learning. I mean, we are taking our baby steps towards democracy. We are maturing politically. It's like we're growing up and we're changing. If you look back at the way we were thinking 2 or 3 years back in time, or even 5 years back in time, I mean, things are changing. And the Egyptians are realizing that. So it's a process that's going to take time. So we need to be more patient.
Yes, we have to be also optimistic.
Yes.
Because being pessimistic will keep us behind. So we have to be optimistic, taking steps ahead, and make a clear and honest decisions about what we need and what we gonna be able to do.
Indeed.
And also support the first row of our generation. We have to push them in front of us and tell them, do your work.
Exactly.
You have to be in this country, you are gonna live here and you will die here, no way. And everybody's coming to you. All I can see Americans coming to Egypt also.
Yes, of course. Dr. Hoda Zarqana, the former member of parliament, thank you very much for being with us and for your precious input, and have a lovely morning.
Now the same to you. I wish you the best, of course, for Egypt, and God bless Egypt.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hoda, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us in this edition of the Breakfast Show today. You had Manissi Rabia and myself, Halal Hamalawi. We both enjoyed your company. We hope you've enjoyed our company as well. Tomorrow, inshallah, you'll be meeting with another crew in a new edition of the Breakfast Show. I'll be joining you in the Breakfast Show tomorrow, inshallah. But for now, it's a goodbye. The French transmission takes over in a while.